Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about when narcissists live with you. Now this isn't about you living with your narcissist. This is when you own your own house or you have an apartment in your name and your narcissist, I don't know, for some reason they have no place to go or they just want to mooch off of you, something. And so they are living in your territory. I would advise just kicking them out, but they're gonna make you look bad no matter what, because they're gonna play it like, oh, she doesn't love her mother, or whoever, or boyfriend, something, she's kicking me out. I have no place to go, I'm broke, yada, yada, yada. They're going to make it seem like they're the victim. Now, when people kick people out that are down on their luck, it has, I'm going to say almost 99.9% of the time, at least from what I've experienced, people don't just randomly kick people out. They usually kick people out for a reason. Like, not helping out around the house, causing a lot of problems, just making your life hell by them staying with you. So it's not a mean thing. Whenever I hear, oh, she kicked me out or he kicked me out, I always wonder, well, what did you do to get kicked out? Did you not pay any rent for however long? You know, I believe in helping people out, but sometimes there are people that just outstay their welcome. And narcissists are just that. They outstay their welcome, probably even after one day of being there. But anyway, for your sanity, no matter what, they're just gonna like lie about you to everybody else. Like, while they're living with you, you don't know what they're telling other people. I mean, sometimes you might even overhear some like telephone conversations or whatever, but they might be, I don't know, telling a relative or a friend, oh my God, she's smoking crack. And everybody will start believing that you're smoking crack because they're going to believe the narcissist. Well, because one, they make themselves believable. Two, they make themselves look like the victim. And three, they're living with you. So it's like, to other people, it's proof. It's like, oh, she's living there, so she's seeing it, so it must be true. Even though it's not. That's how narcissists work. So whether you kick them out or let them stay with you, they're gonna talk bad about you to other people. It's what they do. The only difference about them living with you, and this is what they hate, is that they know you have the control. You can kick them out at any given time. In this, a narcissist doesn't like not being the one in control. So if you're in control to where they can kick you out, it infuriates them because it's a power that they don't have. And you would think, she has the power to kick me out. Why don't I be nice to her? Why don't I help around the house? Help pay some bills instead of mooching off of her? But they don't think like that. They think, oh, I better treat her like crap. You know, and then when she says she's going to kick me out, I'm going to go and tell everyone to make her look bad, and then she'll be kind of shamed into letting me stay. And when things go on around the house, like if they do something, they never take the blame and they never apologize. they'll do stuff like, if they're doing laundry, let's say there's whatever they're washing in the washer can't go in the dryer because it's delicate or something. Well, a couple hours later, they go out and look and wonder where their clothes are, and for some reason their clothes are in the dryer, dry, and they flip out. They're like, why did you put my laundry in the dryer? I didn't. Well, you're the only other person here, so it's just you two people, you and the narcissist, and they're like blaming it on you that you put it in the dryer, and you're like, I didn't touch your crap. That's your stuff. And later on, maybe they remember they put it in the dryer, or they know they put it in the dryer just so that they can blame you, because narcissists are known to create drama and do things that look like it's hurting themselves in order to blame you, so that you look like the one who did it, so they can go complain to other people about what you did, making you look worse than they already have made you look. If they get mad, now this is not all of them. When they're living with you, they'll throw your stuff around the house. Like they'll, I don't know, just random stuff. Throw your phone out into the yard, your keys out into the yard. They'll take your hose off the hangy thing outside and just throw it over the fence. They could break your stuff, take stuff and throw it out in the trash. Sorry, I had a telephone call. Where was I? Oh, so anyway, they'll just start being like a nuisance, and they'll be like, you made me do it. And then later on, when you go to talk to them about it, be like, hey, remember when you threw all my stuff around, or, you know, where is this item or something like that, because I can't find it. And they're gonna just be like, that didn't happen. You're crazy. I never did that. When in fact they did do it. When they kind of do stuff to you or say stuff to you, you kind of have to pick your battles with it. Anything that's little or minor, I guess let it go. I mean, I know it's your house, but I don't know, you kind of feel like a prisoner in your own home, like you can't do anything without them criticizing you. You can't even do anything, even do chores right in your own home. They decide, well, I don't like where you're putting your utensils, and then they move them. You know, they'll move drawers and stuff around, and you're like, where did all my stuff go? And they're like, oh yeah, I moved them because this made more sense. Well, this is my house, and I want my stuff where I put it. They won't respect your boundaries. Like if, I don't know, you go take a shower in your master bathroom and go into your master bedroom, which is attached, and you know, you shut the door because after a shower, they know you like to go get dressed in the bedroom because the bathroom's a little bit too small. They have no respect at all. They know when you're going to be in the bedroom pretty much naked. They don't care. They'll come open the door and try to talk to you and be like, oh, sorry, didn't know you were getting dressed. Yeah, you did. I told you I was taking a shower. You heard the shower turn off. So you knew I was going to be in my bedroom getting dressed. Why would you come open the door? And especially when it's something that's happening all the time. When there's a lock on the door, it's nice. So you lock the door, but every now and then you forget to lock the door. But even if you forget, they should know your door is shut, don't go in. It's like they like embarrassing you and humiliating you, whether it be at home or in public. In public, sometimes they like to create scenes and make you look bad. They might even turn on the waterworks, or they'll even scream obscenities at you just to get people looking. I don't know what it is about drama, but they love it. Even men do it. Like, there will be men that are like, I hate drama. But yet, they're the biggest drama queens you have ever seen. Because they have tantrums constantly when they don't get their way. Or even when it's something about not getting their way. Like, say you're in a relationship with somebody and you're play wrestling, and all of a sudden something happened and you got hurt a little bit. And you tell the narcissist, hey, stop. You just hurt me. And they're like, oh, you're such a baby. And I don't know, you keep saying, stop. And then they finally eventually stop. But then they go on and throw a tantrum, yelling and screaming throughout the house that something's wrong with you, you're crazy. And then they like to bring out stuff that has nothing to do with the argument. Like, they'll pick on you for things that happen throughout your life. Like, well, you're crazy because your mom's crazy. Or, oh, at least I have a high school education. I graduated high school. You're a high school dropout. And I'm like, what does that have to do with you hurting me during wrestling? It doesn't make any sense. And so that then when you're like, hey, when you're wrestling with someone and they say stop, just stop and move. It's not hard to do. But they think, oh, I know more about wrestling than you, so I know whether it hurt or not. No, you don't. That's not the point. It doesn't matter what your knowledge is. They try to justify what they did instead of apologizing and, hey, I'm sorry I hurt you. Nope. In fact, they're glad that they hurt you, and they will argue their point on how they were right and you weren't really hurting and you're psycho. They also do this when you try to confront them with evidence of something similar. Either they don't acknowledge it, or they'll try to justify it and say it's okay. But they'll just turn it around on, like, anytime you try to confront them with anything, they turn it around on you. Like, say, I don't know, they broke a glass or a plate or a bowl. And you're like, hey, could you pick that up? You broke it. Something like that. But like, oh, well, you don't even have a high school education. And I'm like, what does that have to do with picking up, a plate that you just broke? It has nothing to do with it. And they love to call you names. And then if you ever get so heated, because sometimes it does happen, we can't always keep our cool around these people. You get into it and be like, you know what, I may just have a GED and you have a high school education, but at least I can read above a 3rd grade level. At least I can spell simple words like stove and dolphin and there. And they really hate it when you can give it right back to them, and then they go to cry to everybody else with like, oh, she said this to me, she made fun of me because I have a learning disability, or and it's like, well, don't freaking make fun of me, because there does come a time, or many times, when you want to give it back to them because you're just so sick and tired of being an emotional and sometimes physical punching bag for this narcissist. And it eats away at you as a person. Even though you know that there's nothing wrong with you and it's something that's wrong with them, it still hurts to have someone sit there and call you names. Like, and then you get so tired of being the bigger person. And you just want to lash back and let them know you're not going to take it anymore. So you throw their own weak points right back at them. Oh, and in public, they have no qualms about calling you names. Like, if you sit there and have told them in the past that they're a narcissist, if you're out, like, this is if you're dating the person, or even if you're out with your narcissistic parent or whatever, they'll sit there in public and call you a narcissist. Or if you're overweight, they'll sit there and call you like a fat ass or something in front of people. Just to, I don't know what it is. Because, like, if someone is in public and they're calling someone, hey, you're a fat ass, other people will look at them and think, God, that person's being mean to that person. Whereas a narcissist thinks, hey, I look cool and I'm drawing negative attention to this person so that everybody's going to know that she's fat. Well, everybody knows that she's fat. They can see it. They don't need you to point it out. That's mean. But that's narcissist for you. They're mean. All right, so the other thing is rule breaking. If you have rules in your home, like no smoking, no drinking, no drugs in the house, or even on the property, especially if there's someone who has an addiction to one of these things, like it's one thing if it's a prescription medication and they have to take it, but if they're going out and getting weed or crack or coke or whatever they do, but we'll use alcohol as a example. Now, if you say, hey, there's no alcohol allowed in this house, I have kids, so we don't allow it. And I'm not going to allow it. They will break that rule several times. Like, anytime you have a rule for them, they're going to try to break every single one of them just to show you that they can break the rule, and you'll still let them stay with you. You'll still let them stay with you. They'll act like they're trying to hide it, but they want you to know they're doing it. So they'll leave their alcohol bottles in the trash can in plain sight for you to see. Or they'll, just to like spite you and say that you're dirty or whatever, they'll roll it underneath a bathroom sink and leave it under there. And it could be there for weeks before you ever find it because you're cleaning. And then they think you're the dirty one because you hadn't cleaned underneath the sink when they put it under there weeks ago. Yeah, I'm the dirty one. I didn't put it there. If you have no yelling as a rule in the house, they will yell at the top of their lungs. Or if there comes a time when you fight with them and you're both yelling, they'll sit there and talk about how they don't like yelling and it's not nice that you're yelling at them, but they're the one who started yelling first. So their rules that they have for you apply to you, but they don't apply to them. And your rules that you have for your own home that you pay for, they don't apply to them either, and they're going to break every single one. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of times when it comes to stuff like this, the narcissist, They're not paying any rent and they're not helping around the house. Like if you say, okay, you can live here, you know, but you got to pay rent, you got to help out around the house by just basically clean up after yourself. It's not hard. You know, you dirty a dish, wash the dish. Instead, they stack the sink with dishes until you wash them. Or if you say something to them and say, hey, these are your dishes, clean them, and they're mad that they have to clean their own dishes, that they'll turn the kitchen into like a water park. And there'll be water like flooded all over the sink, all over the counters, all over the floor, all over the windows, just water everywhere. And then they won't clean it up. So it takes you longer to clean up their water mess than it is if you had just done their dishes. But then there might be coming a time when they're, I can't pay rent this week or this month or whatever. I can't give you any money towards bills because I'm getting less hours at work. Okay, well guess what? 1 week or month turns into like probably 6 months or even more, and they haven't really given you anything, like any money. So basically, not only are you not getting any help financially, but you're also paying for them because they're using up your resources, your laundry soap, your toilet paper, your dishwashing liquid. Like if they're the type of person that, you know, you're like, hey, use things sparingly, use a little bit, but they're the type that just dumps a whole bunch in because they don't care, because they're not paying for it. And then, you know, they do it on purpose to waste your resources just because they know that they can and they know that it hurts you. So you sit there and say, okay, I'm going to lock up the pantry. You can't eat my food. I'm going to hide my stuff. You know, and then eventually they find it and use it anyway. So it's a whole big ordeal. You feel like a prisoner in your own home because you have to hide things from your narcissist because they're using it all up. Or if like you've got 4 loads of laundry to do that day and your narcissist comes up and says, hey, I have a load of laundry I need to do too. Well, you have to get in line and wait, and then, you know, they freak out and be like it's their washer and dryer and it's their house. Everything has to be their way. You're not allowed to call them out on anything, and they're the ones living off of you. And then on top of that, they're not helping out around the house. They're not doing what they should do. It's like they sit on their butt all day watching TV or playing video games. I don't know, looking on their phone. And then they turn around and say, oh, well, you sit all day too. Well, yeah, I might sit around all day, but I have a reason for it because I'm injured, and I still clean more than you do. I still pay more bills than you do. If I'm covering 95% of the bills and doing 95% of the housework, on top of also when you clean, I'm cleaning up after you, you know, it takes a toll on you, and you just want to kick that person out. When you do kick them out, like if you do, you know, you might say something like, okay, you need to find someplace else to go, take a couple of weeks and look for a place. But they might try to play the victim and be like, no, I'll just leave now. They'll pack up their things, they'll go to a hotel, and they'll stay there and make you look like the horrible person. Oh, my daughter is making me stay in a hotel because she kicked me out. And she kicked me out for no reason at all. Never mind the fact that you're emotionally abusing her and, you know, holding yard sales while she's at work selling her stuff. that you're not entitled to sell because you didn't pay for it. You know, it's just, they're gonna make you look bad, and that's just how they make you look even worse, is by, oh, I'm staying in a hotel, and then they feel sorry for her. And then when it comes to you, and like they're like, I'll just leave, and they don't talk to you for a while after, they're punishing you with silence. They're giving you the silent treatment because they think it's a punishment. For some people that haven't really healed much and are still very much in their situations, they do feel that when their narcissist gives them the silent treatment, they feel the punishment, they feel the hurt. Where me and other people that have healed more, they're like, all right, leave, it's not gonna hurt me. It's gonna make me feel better. I'm gonna have the house to myself. I can unlock the pantry. I can freely take a shower without someone walking in on me, stuff like that. But yeah, they think it's a punishment when they leave, and it's not a punishment. It shouldn't be anyway. In the end, I believe if someone is a narcissist and they're constantly doing this stuff to you, and you can't even live freely in your own home without constantly being criticized over every little thing you do, even criticized on how you raise your kids, they have to go, because they're harming your family, and your children are more important than a narcissist. So the narcissist needs to go. Don't feel bad if they talk bad about you to other people, because if those people believe it, then they don't matter. You can sit there and tell them till you're blue in the face, hey, all this stuff is not true. If they believe the narcissist, then they're not going to be a positive part of your life. They're going to be negative. They're going to sit there and talk about, hey, you remember that time you kicked your mom out of the house and she had to stay in a hotel? It's something that all these lies and stuff that are being told are always going to be brought up. So even though it hurts that that family isn't going to be around for you anymore, or friends, it's better, because you're not dealing with negative people anymore that care more about your narcissist and their lies than they do about you. So anyway, if you want, you can comment if you had any narcissists living with you. You can go ahead and tell your story, tell me how it went, tell about some things that your narcissist has done while they're under your roof, and take care.